Event with spoken word and a little bit of music. First, I want to say thank you to DEPHT Clothing. The 2 bags that you see in front are gifts for all of you. Wrote something special for tonight's event. I hope you guys will enjoy it, but I'm not up next. So I'm going to leave you in the hands of our MC, Mr. DJ Stylesss. I hope you guys enjoy the event.
Langston Hughes' poem called Let America Be America Again. I hope you guys enjoy it. I came to build a homeland of the free. The free? Who said the free? Not me. Surely not me. The millions on relief today, the millions shot down when we strike, millions who have nothing for their pay, for all the dreams we've dreamed, all the songs we've sung, all the hope we've held, and all the flags we've hung. The millions who have nothing for their pay, except the dreams that almost died today. Oh, let America be America again. The land that never has been yet, and yet must be. The land where every man is free. The land that's mine. The poor man, the Indian, the Negroes, me. Who made America? Whose sweat and blood, whose faith and pain, whose hands at the foundry, who plowed in the rain, must bring back our mighty dream again. Sure, call me any ugly name you choose. The steel of freedom doesn't stain. From those who live like leeches on people's lives, who must take back our land again? America. Oh yes, I say it plain. America never was America to me. And yet I swear this oath, America will be. Thank you.
When the rivers of knowledge that flow through your mind, for what is portrayed on television, taught in the classroom, seen on the streets, don't let the thoughts of hatred, ignorance make you blind. When you study the past and relate it to your future, remember your Black history is rich and full of intelligence and talent, with men and women that open doors and pave the way for many things that we eat, see, and use today. The list of Black inventors is long and often goes unacknowledged. Janderson Lawson, Mark Hanna, Garrett Morgan, Lonnie Johnson, Georgia Franklin Grant, and George Crumb, just to name a few. The list of Black men and women that have made a mark in history: Regina Anderson, Maya Angelou, Gwendolyn Brooks, Harriet Ann Jacobs, Dana Nash, Frederick Douglass, and Thurgood Marshall, just to name a few. I told my son, when you think of Black history and all we have overcome, from the blood, sweat, tears, and death of Black men and women, so that we could have the things we have, so that we have the freedom that we have, so that we have the opportunity to pursue our dreams. Don't let the words that the man is holding us down. Don't be hypnotized by the beat of that drum. I told my son, when you think of Black history, from the riches of our past, one day you will be able to tell your child that you saw it for yourself, that a Black man was voted as our president, not once, but twice. Tell him or her our Black history is not limited to 28 days. Tell him or her that our Black history is celebrated every day. Thank you.
Hello? Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. First, let me say thanks to everyone for coming out and supporting the arts. Special thank you to my family and my Taboo family for supporting. Thank you so much. This piece I wrote this morning, actually. I'm kind of passionate about it. It's entitled Empowerment of a People. I hope you enjoy it. Sitting here trying to figure some things out, you know? Like I'm trying to pacify myself, but I'm getting mad just thinking about it. Someone help me understand how these folks think they can cram into 1 month what took us as a people years and decades, even centuries to create. From the fields to the master's house, from the Underground Railroad to conducting the railways. Hear me out now. I'm Black and I'm proud. I'm trying to understand how you can say Black History Month as if you're giving us props for a lifetime of hell. I mean, we were forced on ships, forced to a country not ours, and then forced to work the hell out of it without so much of a recompense for pain and suffering, loss of family and life. We were robbed of our families, robbed of our dignity, robbed of everything but our faith. A faith that kept us on bended knee and strong throughout the scope of time. And they say, y'all be good now and appreciate. We giving you a month. Let's see what you do with it. Y'all hear me out now. I'm Black and I'm proud. We've come a long way, don't get me wrong, but we ain't finished yet. We got a longer road to travel and some things to straighten out. I mean, we have swung from trees. We have fought off sheets and stopped riding in the back of the bus. We have marched blisters on our feet, stopped drinking at the colored fountain, and we walk up to the counter and order what we want. We're not just cleaning out their houses now and taking care of their children. We're not just basketball stars and running backs galore. We claiming awards and medals and things that we not even supposed to know how to excel in. We've gone from not knowing how to read to teaching mathematics and science. We've gone from sweeping up the streets to being in control of these United States of America with a Black man at the head. But wait, we still being killed, slain, and abused at the hands of others in control. Our headlines are screaming of police killing over 1,200 people in just 2015. 15% of them being Black males under the age of 34. 2% were white men of the same age. 20% were unarmed and 43 under the age of 18. Bear with me now, because I'm trying to cram in 15 minutes what needs to be said about our 1 month for a lifetime of Blacks being born to die for a cause that wasn't theirs. Our blood stained these streets, flowing freely still today, our children killing children as they set out to rid the nation of us still. We used to stand with our fists pumped high in the air as we chanted and shouted at the top of our lungs, say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud. We have a lot of firsts in our decades of strife. We have our first Black astronaut, Julian Bluford, who flew for 6 days in the Space Shuttle Challenger. Thurgood Marshall, our first Black Supreme Court Justice. Shirley Chisholm, first Black woman to serve in Congress and run for president. Carol Jemison, our first woman astronaut to travel in space in the Space Shuttle Endeavour, and who was also a physician. Henry Jackson, first black man to run for president in 1947. Hattie McDaniel, first black woman to win an Oscar. To our black famous writers who struggle with identity amidst racism and hostility, from Langston Hughes to Maya Angelou, who so eloquently put their words of magic to pages of time. These not all, but many have and are still climbing that wall that was put up to keep us down. And as Maya Angelou so proudly stated, still I rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may tread me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Out of the huts of history, shame, I'll rise. Up from the past that's rooted in pain, I'll rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I wanted to personally thank everyone for coming out to the Lyrical tonight. We've been doing it for a minute, and thanks to Cherry on yet another collaboration here at Lyrical. The name of my poem is Black River, and here goes. 1. African male barefoot, sunk down into the Virginian sand. With his shackled hands, he stepped out of the ship called the White Lion, followed by those of his kind. And as their skin glistened in the land of liberty's sun, the crowns of their heads looked like black cotton spun, while their eyes saw peculiar wonder at this new land. These 20 Negroid souls were the source of a young river, a very new river. Their life force opens up to the Black River. The Black River, leaping with life, dread, uncertainty, and stark reality, that their ride was not for leisure, no pleasure involved, but they were the background for the slavery scene, and this was done back in August of 1619. The bed of this river was deep and full of black misery, but there was a promise in the babbling brooks of uprisings, one led by a slave named Jimmy in 1739, who executed white owners and placed their heads on the front steps of stores until he was caught, captured, and killed. It was Nat Turner who was bursting with prophetic dreams. He rallied the rebels to set the demise in place for 60 whites, but in the end, he was hanged as his body rocked and spun, and a purse was made of his dissident skin. Miss Tubman drove the train across the river's roughest surges to safety's abode. They called her feet the Underground Railroad. Although slowly, freedom finally embarked at the mountain's crest, shining the sovereignty light down upon their Negro faces. The Emancipation Proclamation made the declaration that all persons held as slaves are, and henceforth, shall be free. These were the words written by Lincoln in 1863. This Black River was robust and strong, finding ways to flow, flourish, and farrow by giving birth to little streams, black streams. black baby streams, and this was the secret in spite of various plans to dam it up, despite all attempts to dry it up. Many rivers, many years, many miles, many waves, and many trials of this black river that kept fluid and unbroken until out of one of those streams arose a sleek black panther who sprung out of the river and landed powerfully on all fours. He sought to end oppression of his people. He fought for equality in education and civil rights. He brought the Revolutionary War cry, and he thought he could end police brutality and criminality. But it was COINTELPRO that infiltrated this black man's organization, ceasing all efforts to build a nation within a nation. Although not in order of appearance, I must talk about two channels that were narrow and deep. They were opposite, but also a confluence. Two people who were life's finest students, but one was educated in the Harlem streets, and the other in a quality American university. They both mark a place where two waterways joined. I am talking the Niger Martin and the Nile Malcolm. While the Niger sought to end all atrocities peacefully, the Nile thought it was best to be a fearless militant eagerly. Uneasily, they both left this world too soon, too violently. Speedily, this river streams across spans of times and times of times. Then it gracefully keeps a current that builds a strong people. It allows the people to sing civil rights songs, gives them the strength to fight back Jim Crow wrongs and take it when they lost Black Wall Street. Keep fighting, fighting, and keep fighting until ghetto journalists in Timberlands and jeans walked out of the city projects with poetic rhymes and sick beats, teaching the world that black men are king, when no matter what they try, they still breathing. When this black river is still running and moving, fluently streaming right up to the White House, dropping slave ancestors' brood, and no, they aren't staying in no guest house. This is the blood that built it. And this blood is now part of the Continental Quilt. Make room for the black face on the wall of the other 43 presidents. Make room for the gown that the First Lady wore at the dance in the museums so that we can keep this river turning, keep it growing and flowing. This black river, this black river, this black river got many more miles to go.
Let me go on and do the tweet while I'm still here. I've got a secret. I've got a secret, listen. I've got a secret. These are some things that they don't want you to know. Sitting in my chair surfing on the net one time, thinking about a lot of things just running through my mind. Back about a few hundred years or so, about some things they didn't want you to know. If you believe all they tell in school, I hate to tell you people, but you might be a fool. They tell you things that just ain't right, like we put up with slavery without a fight. The black race has always been the problem. From Africa, the Middle Passage, we always get loud. In 1663, yeah, that's right, we got together, then we started to fight. In 1791, the Haitian brothers, they could not take no more. So they got together, took over the island. You know it started a war. First England, then France tried to move them out. They handled both nations without a doubt. In 1811, New Orleans brothers were tired of the slavery thing. They got together and tempted fate, the largest slavery vote in the United States. In 1822, Denmark Vesey started a movement. He told slaves that death would only be an improvement. So they got together and they was ready to bang, but Uncle Tom turned them in, so they all got hanged. 1741, 19 years later, brothers got together, took over a slave trade. They took out everyone on the ship. Then they sailed to Bahamas, free men. Now that's a trip. Now you might think the things that I say are true, but come on, people, I wouldn't lie to you. Early Africans were viewed the same way, as indentured servants from Europe, some people might say. Antonio Johnson, you may not know, but he played a big part, and this is for sure. He had a big house and 200 slaves. He lived in Virginia, a black man with maids. 1665, things in Virginia for a black man were looking bad. So he leased his land and sold his slaves. That shit probably made him mad. He moved up north and got the hell out of town. A speck in history they forgot they wrote down. 1667 Act declared that baptism does not alter the condition of a person as to his bondage or freedom. What it means, my people, is God couldn't save you. Being saved in that case, they weren't seeing you. I wouldn't lie, my people. Slavery was on. If God can't save you, then you really on your own. Now, you can fight for freedom. That makes you a hypocrite. A two-faced country talking freedom but won't admit to slavery. Now, that's some shit. DP out. Thank you.
Please give me a one. Testing. Can I borrow one? Can a sister borrow a one? I'll give it back. I promise. You know, I get paid next week. I'm just saying. Good evening, everybody, one and all. I want to say thank you so much for allowing me to come here and indulging me at this great occasion. Black History is a daily event. It is a hourly event. It is a second and minute event. It is not something that can be relegated to just 30 days, 28 days. How are you going to give us the shortest month? Really? Okay, I'm sorry. Let me get back in my zone. Okay. I've been blessed to be able to give a poem and a song. So I will start with my poem and then end with my song. When I reflect and think about the events of the last several years with police brutality and Black Lives Matter and Sandra Bland and everything that has happened, it reminds me of a time right back in the 60s where activism was something commonplace and something that just absolutely, 29, we got one more day this year. But the thing about it though, even back then, Gil Scott-Heron said, the revolution will not be televised. You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruption. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Adams, and Spiro Agnew to eat hog moss, confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Stephen McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nubs. The revolution will not make you feel 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mays pushing the shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 or report from 29 districts because the revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still life of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he had just been saving for the proper occasion. Green Acres, the Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant. And women will not care if Dirk finally gets down with Jane or if search for tomorrow because black people will be in the streets looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of hairy armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb, Francis Scott Key, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or the Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after this message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with Coke. The revolution will not fight the germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. Will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers, because the revolution will be live. End poem. But when I think about summertime, I think about this song, and I'll leave you with this. Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Oh, your dad is rich, and your mom is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing, and you spread your wings, and you take to the sky. But till that morning, there ain't nothing can harm you. With Daddy and Nanny standing by. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Oh, your dad is rich, and your mama's good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry.
Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon. Formed against, yes, glory is destined. Everyday women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skin become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtapositioning us. Justice for all just ain't specific enough. One son died, his spirit is revisiting us. True and living in us. Resistance is us. That's why Rosa sat on the bus. That's why we walk through Ferguson with our hands up. When it go down, we woman and man up. They say stay down, and we stand up. Shots, we on the ground, the camera panned up. King pointed to the mountaintop, and we ran up.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours. Oh, glory, glory, oh, glory, glory. Now the war is not over, victory isn't won, but we'll fight on to the finish, and then when it's all done, we'll cry glory, oh glory,
Selma is now for every man, woman, and child. Even Jesus got his crown in front of a crowd. They march with the torch, we gon' run with it now. Never look back, we done gone hundreds of miles. From dark roads, heroes, to become a hero. Facing the League of Justice, his power was the people. Enemy is lethal, a king became regal. Saw the face of Jim Crow under a bald ego. No one can win a war individually. It take the wisdom of the elders and young people's energy. Welcome to the story we call victory. The coming of the Lord, my eyes have seen the glory.
one day, when the glory comes.